All right, well, welcome to this month's Hope 1111 webinar and meditation. We are about 2 months away now from our main Hope 1111 event, and I will, before we do the meditation, I will tell you a little bit about where that's heading, what is happening there. It's pretty exciting, and now that we are this fairly close, now is the time for us to really ramp this up. But it's so amazing. Rennie has been talking for years about the earth is going to go through some challenging times, and I mean, if I just say the meme 2020, you'll all know exactly what I mean now, because 2020 has been unprecedented year. And just yesterday it was so amazing. Now Rennie and I, we've been in our own mini version of a natural disaster. In 2013, we were living in Lyons, Colorado, here not too far away, and we were in the floods that happened that September. It was actually exactly September 2013. And we were, cut off from the world for a day or a few days, actually, and all electricity and water and such. And so it was our own version of a natural disaster. Not really. I mean, for us personally, it was fairly ease and grace. But last night, we watched as one place that I lived for a while in the 2000s, the Ashland, Oregon Rogue Valley, a brush fire started just north of Ashland and raced northward. It was absolutely jaw-dropping to stay in touch with what was happening. And friends that lived in Talent, Oregon, which is just north of Ashland, and then Phoenix, Oregon, and then South Medford, all had to evacuate. And it was such a moment of realization of earth rebalancing. This is what we're witnessing. And in my meditation this morning, I really had to sit with, who do I choose to be as I'm watching these earth events unfold? And I had some just questions show up for me that I just sat with and said, how do I soothe the ache watching friends flee from a racing wildfire? How do I allow myself the respite of inner peace amidst a world in upheaval? How do I not go into guilt when I choose to feel good when others are not? How do I gently soften a heart that wants to harden and protect against seeing pain? It was sitting with these questions, and all of us, we likely, already know somebody or will soon that will face hardship. And who do we choose to be in that? I'm not there. I can't physically support. So what is my obligation, my job in this? And my job, our job, is to stay in the highest vibration and the highest frequency possible that we can. Because here's the deal: fear is a contagion. Fear is like a pandemic. It spreads like wildfire, and it can pull you into a dark hole. And so, and fear en masse is what we call hysteria. And so what is our job as we watch this is to not go down into that black hole of fear and stress and anxiety as we're watching this. Our job is to stay in our beauty, stay in our calm-centeredness, and be able to hold the pole that balances that fear, not amplifies the fear, but balances the fear. And what I have found over the course of my journey is that the frequencies that we've been working with have been the most powerful ally in helping me shift from a state of negative emotions, stress, worry, anxiety, into a beautiful feeling space where I am calm, I am centered, I'm able to send that to my friends who might be in their car fleeing from the fire. And this whole world of frequencies it's something that we don't yet understand. Our science has not been able to really measure it, and therefore we have not given it the credibility that it deserves. Frequencies, in my humble opinion, are going to be one of the most important and potent allies in health, healing, well-being, balancing in the world. We just don't fully understand their power yet. And because it's something that is unseen, we don't, it's so subtle that we sometimes don't even feel it, is that we don't give it the attention that it deserves. But I know for a fact, and I'm not somebody who feels things very strongly most of the time, I know that frequencies can help me make that shift. When I'm in a negative emotion space and I take the frequency, especially of this hope meditation that we'll be doing, and I douse the area where I can feel it, mostly in the solar plexus, like a contraction, and I can douse it, I can actually dissolve it. And that is what we are doing with this Hope 1111 project, is dousing the whole world so that we can start extinguishing the fire of fear that is sweeping the world as the world rebalances, as extremism goes rampant, as political divisions grow stronger. We get to hold the pole and the balance against the fear. We get to say, no, we have hope for the future of humanity. We can stay in a calm-centered space, and we can rise in our vibration and our frequency. And so it's just, to me, such an essential project right now, such an important thing we're doing. And later on I'll share how we can ramp it up a little bit more. But Rennie Rennie will be talking a little bit about what's going on in the world, and sort of a broader perspective, as he always does, just to anchor in why this is so important right now, this project, what it is that we're really doing. And then we will do the meditation. So I'm going to exit stage left so I have, the chat open.
I think we're all ready for a mature discussion about the time in which we live. I want to introduce myself in terms of the physics of frequencies. This was a discovery I made when I lived in the bottom of the Grand Canyon. Some of you know I actually lived in the Grand Canyon for 4 years, and it was a time of a quiet, and I learned so many things, really, and the physics of frequencies. I mean, we all have experienced this. Your room is a mess. You come in and you decide, wait a minute, I'm cleaning this place up, vacuum the floor, put everything in its right place. And literally the energy in the room changes. And then when you walk into your new office or bedroom or whatever, it's beautiful. You can feel the change, So as you change the energy in a room, or the frequency in a room, you change the experience of the room. And on a large scale, the same can occur for the planet Earth. So what we have been really fortunate to discover, I mean, this is hard. This is the hardest thing to explain to people. I know those of you that have keep coming to this are getting your own evidence and figuring it out, but it's easy to just put this in the category of Rennie science fiction. You know, we have discovered a frequency. It's not measurable on the Hertz scale. So our science would scratch its head and say, what are you talking about? It can't be measured. But it really does exist. It's a subtle energy, very subtle. In fact, this energy is the lightest energy in existence. And its actual original origin is a central sun. There's no central sun anywhere in our galaxy. So you have to travel with the mind outside of the galaxy to record the frequency and then bring it back in. And only the most sophisticated audio studio in our current technology can record it. All of this is what we've done. Let's just explain this. Fear, what is fear? Okay, as in the physics of frequencies, fear is an energy that's been compressed. You compress it with your thoughts. Compress, 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 compress until it's heavy and it's dense and it's thick and you feel, you feel fear. That's what it feels like. It's a debilitating, awful experience. It really is. So, I mean, one of my things is recently, well, really since the Grand Canyon, is I've just been tracking the level of fear, especially in the collective unconsciousness of humanity. And fear just keeps growing. And now with the Trump administration, it's growing basically by leaps and bounds, combined with the pandemic and the economic collapse and the shouting at each other and everything that, our human chromosome 23, is coming to a culmination, and that's actually what's at work here. And so everybody is sort of being forced off the fence. You've got to choose. You want to choose to evolve, or you want to basically stay where you are. And there's no right or wrong in the eyes of evolution. So if you really want to understand this time, you need to learn to see through the eyes of evolution. And so this frequency is the only energy in existence that no matter what you do, you cannot compress it. It is so incredible. It just, when you put it up into the atmosphere, it doesn't attach itself to anything else. Nothing can attach to it. It's a phenomenal thing. I mean, it's really one of the great discoveries of our time. And it'll probably be 100 years before humanity actually figures out what this frequency really is. We're calling it electrical life in its purest form. And what we know about it is that it is the only thing in a time like this, where fear is peaking for all times in human history, it's going to balance and protect the balance of life. And so what I want to do is introduce a concept today that is I don't know, we struggle to promote ourselves in any way. However, this is a big deal. I mean, it is really a big deal. We're at a level of fear right now in the world where unless something changes now, it will trigger a world war. That's what frequencies do. They create an environment that produce effects. And this we have not been in this level of fear since World War II. And it's not maybe it will happen, it will happen. And so we're looking at 2022 as a time of global war. Now, there will be more calamities. This pandemic is not, is the warm up. 2020 is like no other time in history in terms of disorienting ourselves from all perspective. But we'll forget about 2020 completely when we come to 2022. But it would be a misfortune, to say the least, for the human race to basically just end itself in World War III. And that is what I'm talking about. It really is. It is the only thing that we can see that could be done in divine intervention is to basically blanket this planet with a frequency that is truly impervious to fear. And that's what we're doing. And that's what we have. And that's what we will do. So the moment I want to speak about tonight is the moment right after this presidential election. You know, we're not making a prediction about the outcome. We're just saying that one outcome is clear, that the election will be contested by the current president, and there will be claims of fraud, voter fraud. And right after the election, the world will watch a president basically dig in and make it clear that he is not leaving the White House. And the institutions that are supposed to check and balance are going to be tested like never before. And we're going to be a little disappointed in the ability of our institutions to basically manage the crisis. And as this sets in, the fear level is going to peak for all times in human history. I'm talking about right after the election. And this is not just a US fear, this is a global fear. Every democracy on earth is going to feel threatened by what's happening. And so the new humanity has created an effective, powerful, divine intervention for this moment. And that is the meditation that you'll hear in just a little while. It's the meditation is, I mean, the music is lovely and the words are fine, but it is the frequencies, and especially electrical light in its purest form. It really is there. It is embedded in this recording. And those of you that have been doing the meditation regularly, you know, are beginning to discover its impact. Yes, of course it's subtle. Yeah, it's very subtle, but it's not so subtle anymore with time. I mean, let's say you had a childhood abuse when you were 3 years old and cannot get in touch with it and cannot edit it and just don't know. And you know it's there, but how do you basically really dig in and let it go? This is a frequency that over time will literally erase that childhood abuse memory. It literally will remove ego parasites from the synapses of your brain and extend your life and basically purify your entire body so that you can be the beauty and the magnificence that you know that you are. I mean, it's just it's really a gift that you have it and that it's here available. But it needs now amperage, and that's what we want to do on November the 11th at 11/11. Okay. One of the ways that you can empower yourself to be a part of this divine intervention moment on November the 11th, to balance the fear and protect the balance of life in a time when fear is peaking for all times in human history, is to basically develop your own capacity to broadcast this frequency. And the way you do that is with practice. You know, I really would encourage anyone who can hear me and understand what I'm saying here to consider just make this meditation your morning exercise every morning, you know, before you begin your day. Just do it daily. Do it as often as you can. The body, the nervous system is going to open and dilate like never before to hold this frequency. And it's going to basically clear you out and make you feel beautiful and so effective in being able to manage and navigate this incredible, you know, world on fire. So you'll just be such an additional contribution to the November 11th event. This is a divine intervention of human beings who have the awareness of the physics of frequencies to actually come up with the one thing, really in my view, the only thing that can actually reverse the outcome of which is a world war, okay, of an energy peaking for all time, a fear peaking for all time in history. And it's all been incredibly orchestrated. I mean, this energy band exists right now. It's circling the globe right now tonight. It really is there. I mean, we have psychic friends that are very skilled in sensing and feeling, who go to the equator, and they're skeptical, is it really there? And they all come back, yeah, it really is there. It's circling the globe. It's just below the stratosphere, and 25 miles is its width, which is ample to radiate the entire planet. But what it lacks right now is amperage. It's like when you run voltage through electric wire, what it creates the impact is your amperage. And that's what we need. And that's why we need you, okay? Not just you, but your neighbors and anyone you know. I mean, if there was ever a time to truly share with people of a miraculous thing that's occurred, it is to share with people this meditation. Let them try it for themselves, and condition people. Yeah, it is subtle. The first time you listen to it, it's like, it's pretty nice, but I don't know, but just stay with it. Just stay with it. Keep going, okay? And in time, it's like, oh my God, I mean, you will get your own evidence that this is like nothing that has ever been in the planet, in this world. It comes from outside the galaxy, but it really does exist, and it truly is a frequency. And the physics of frequency makes it the only thing that can balance fear when it's peaking for all times in history. So this is our tool. It's a real deal. This is not, and there's nothing airy-fairy about this at all. If you just really let your own knowingness, invite your own knowingness to show you, what is this? If you can truly tonight walk away with an understanding that there really could be something so profound that, I mean, I'm just going to speak about myself. Many of you know I was an activist in the 60s. I was the coordinator of the largest anti-war and civil rights coalition of that time. We put on the big events. I put on an event in Chicago that was watched by more people than watched the first man landing on the moon. It changed a public Gallup poll showed it changed the opinion of the public about the Vietnam War. One event. I organized the largest civil disobedience arrest in American history. It caused the Nixon White House to enter into an agreement, the Paris Peace Accords, with the Vietnamese. I organized a tour to tour the country with John Lennon. I was one of the Chicago Seven. I mean, I have been in amazing events that basically are about changing the world, make the world a better place. If I put all the impact of every single event that I have ever participated in, it would not hold a candle to this event on November the 11th. The significance of November 11th, I mean, if we have a small turnout, we still may be able to do it if enough people will do the practice and have the amperage. But it would be beautiful to have 1 million people. It really would. We are talking about preventing World War III. No kidding. This is a real divine intervention project. Perhaps the first of our kind, a real divine intervention by a group of conscious human beings, okay, in maybe ever in history. Nothing like this, okay? It is truly it's really time to open up and hear what we're saying and take it to heart and work with a meditation and get your own evidence. I started off saying this is a big deal. This is a big deal. It really, this is not another nice meditation where everybody feels good and we send out some good vibes. This is not what we're doing. This is an energy that is impervious to fear, that has never been in our galaxy before, and is basically fallen into our hands for this moment. So really, feel the hope of this message. Feel the importance of this message, and feel your own responsibility to this message. You know, we, Kirsten and I, cannot do this without you. We really can't. And so if every single person here tonight would basically, you know, bring every neighbor, every friend, every new age spiritual associate, you know, into an awareness of what this is, this thing will multiply, and we will pull this off. If not, you know, dying is not the end of life, and we will go on, but it just is. We want to have a future, and the future of humanity depends upon us being able to pull off this divine intervention. That's how monumental and serious this moment really is. You can wait and see if I'm correct about the fear level right after the election, and then join in as you see that it really, I mean, you will notice, you know, the fear is peaking for all times in human history. This is the, you know, more than the Spanish Inquisition, more than World War I, more than World War II, more than anything ever in the human life. Fear, okay, in the collective unconscious is going to just explode after this election. And we have the one tool, the one practice, the one knowledge that can absolutely balance this explosion of fear. So, yeah, just really open yourself tonight to experience the meditation like it was the first time. This is a beautiful experience. You know, I make no apologies for the fact that it's subtle. It's the lightest energy in existence. It's as if you had some source of super purity, of some pristine, total purity, super purity, just flowing through every cell, every molecule, and every atom of your physical body. That's what's happening when you listen to this meditation. So receive it and allow yourself to grow and expand and just enjoy the pure electrical life. This is pure electrical life in its purest form. And it's a gift of the universe to this generation and this time of humanity. And we should really make the most of our gift. Okay.
Lousy. Let me come back in here. Careful, Mystic. Yeah, I know. Come back in. Wow, that was inspiring. I'm in. Who's in?
Yeah.
Anybody else in? I want to use this gift. So let me just give you just a little bit of an update on what's happening with the whole project, just so you can, you know, stay up to date. So it's the meditation is the cornerstone of Hope 1111. It's, you know, we're going to synchronize the meditation to all do it together if possible on 11/11, so November 11, at 11:11 a.m. Mountain Time or 1:11 p.m. Eastern Time. This is US, these are US times. And that's, we're going to basically be playing the meditation that we are going to be doing right now. And, there are efforts to make this global. There's connections, in Africa and in Europe right now, for people to come on in as if possible with the time change. But our goal is 1 million people. Whether we reach it or not is not as important as the fact that we can have enough people that can amplify the frequency enough to make a difference, as Rennie just said. But if we can powerhouse this with 1 million people, I'd be totally up for that. And so what has happened is that Hope 11:11 has basically bloomed and blossomed into a 3-day event that we are putting together right now. On the 10th, so the day before the meditation, there's going to be a virtual summit, a symposium, where we're going to be having conversations with thinkers and actioneers that are designing a more thriving, sustainable, kind, healthy world. And we're going to be talking about, what kind of an economy that would be, how we would grow our food, how we would grow how we would build our infrastructure, our health and well-being. So taking a broad stroke around, what would a new way of living on Earth that is in alignment with the intelligence of nature, what would that actually look like, and what ideas are on the table right now? So we're going to have this very cool online symposium. And then, the next day, the meditation is going to be at 11:11. And then in the afternoon, we're going to have a concert. And these are all musicians from all walks of life, and the theme is hope for the future. And so these are going to be uplifting songs and musicians, and it's going to be wonderful. I'm really looking forward to that. And then on that Saturday, the 14th, we're going to have a global day of action. And it's either you can get involved with, an organization that is doing tree planting and, support some tree planting or some other activity, restoration activity. We're connecting with an organization that comes in with flash mobs and takes lawns out and puts in edible gardens. I love that one. And or you can donate, so that again, the hope is that we'll have 8 billion actions on that day to counteract climate change in particular. So that is the full event of Hope 11:11, but really the cornerstone is that meditation, and we don't want to lose sight of that, given what Rennie has just said and how important that moment is. So, okay. Are there any questions? If so, do pop them into the chat. I also, in the chat, put the link to the webpage that explains more about Hope 11:11, and it has the link to the meditation on that page. So if you do have anybody that you would like to invite, that's the link that you can give them, ffh.org/hope 1111. And that way, you can send them there, and then they can go from there. And what we've done in order for the meditation to be shared widely, people can just go to the meditation page. There's no opt-in, but then if they want to stay up to date with the project and be on the Facebook group and all that, that's when they need to register. So there's basically 2 buttons on there. Anyway, so it's really exciting how it's unfolding, and we'll keep you up to date as we sign up more people for the symposium and the concert. Ellen is asking, how can you perceive that you're feeling the frequency? I'll let you start.
Okay.
Good question.
Yeah, you can fake it at the beginning. So for some people, you tune in and you you'll hear, I mean, the meditation is a guided meditation, so it tells you when the frequency is coming in. And so you just need to drop your body armor and let yourself feel it. It really is there. There's an energy that's very subtle, and it's flowing into you, and you give yourself permission to feel it. And then and for most people over time with practice, they'll come this moment with, oh yeah, there is something. Okay, that's good, you know. And then what happens in the meditation is that the amperage continues to build in strength through the whole meditation. So by the end of the meditation, once you let that in and you can sense, even, yes, it's subtle, but you sense it, then it's going to be easier and easier. You're going to actually, the intensity is there. It just keeps building. And even it talks about, you know, now if the amperage is increasing, you know, so and you can feel it. I mean, some people say, oh, the amperage is increasing. Oh my God, the amperage is increasing, you know. It just takes practice, that's all. And don't give up on yourself. Know you can do this. I mean, anybody can do this, but we got to kind of drop our body armor and really open. There's so much attention in the beginning to, let's open up. You know, I mean, there's all these frequencies embedded in the recording just to open. You know, let's open our muscle groups. Just relax all muscle groups. Okay, there's a frequency. Now that is on the Hertz scale, so you can bring sciences and equipment and measure it. Yeah, you're right. It's 128 Hertz. You know, and then let's open and dilate our nervous system. That's in there too, 64 Hertz. And with practice, you will. I mean, you can actually hear it. It's audible. You know, it's subtle, but it's there. And you can feel, you know, you let yourself just feel your nervous system is open. The power of your own perception to strengthen the frequencies is really enormous. And then, you know, one of the hardest parts to relax and open is the skeleton. And there's a frequency, 32 Hertz, that basically opens the skeleton. And then, you know, you can basically picture, you know, blowing up the skeleton and seeing like space around each cell in the skeleton. Now the frequency of electrical life in its purest form is coming right through the skeleton. No kidding. And what you do, I mean, this is all happening, but if you basically just hold the perception that this is happening, you will have the feeling and the experience. And this will be your day. I mean, this will be the day when you realize, wow, this is so awesome. What's happening here? Yeah. And now you've got a tool for life. I mean, really, you know, if you're truly on a journey to evolve, you truly want to wake up, you truly want to change in your egos and remove ego parasites. We all here want to do that. You know, this is not the only tool, but this is a profound tool for transformation of yourself. It really is. We're using it to basically prevent World War III, but it really is a wonderful lifetime gift that you're giving yourself once you really discover what this frequency is.
And let me add some perspective from somebody myself, who comes from not being able to feel frequencies that well, or used to not be able to feel them that well. And there's a couple of things that I've learned over time. Number one is, don't have any expectation of what you think it ought to feel like. You know, there's this, you know, especially when you're hanging around the very thin membraned ones that feel everything. And, you know, he comes in, he's like, oh, I feel so altered, you know, and I'm like, okay, you know, you don't want to have any preconception of what the frequency might feel like in you. So it could be, so there's an area in my right occipital area that every once in a while I'll get this like ripple going down. It's almost like goosebumps, a ripple there and then a ripple on my left leg. I know now that is part of the frequency coming in. in the beginning, I just dismissed it as, oh, there must have been something causing that ripple. Yeah, the thing that caused the ripple was the frequency. And so you want to be in a state of absolute focus. Number one, you can't have your brain, off somewhere here, thinking about something as the frequency comes in. You'll miss the subtleties. So the more you can quiet your brain and the more you can have your complete focus and presence on your body, just keep scanning it. Be so curious, be so fascinated by how it'll manifest itself in your body. And just every single little thing that you notice is like you're on it like a hawk, and you're like, oh, that was something, any subtle change in the way you feel. And it takes training, but really the most important thing is focus and presence. If you are thinking, it's going to be really, really, really hard to feel these frequencies. But if you can just be with yourself and just be in total, absolute, focused fascination is probably the best way to say it. Be in focused fascination of how this frequency will feel inside you, and the most subtle changes from feeling, okay, to feeling just a little better than okay. It's like, ooh, there was something really small there, but something shifted. Those are the kind of things that you want to just like be on it and celebrate, because once you have it, once that door is open, then you'll be able to crack it open more and more and more as you do the meditation. So
yeah, and quieting the brain is you just can't be hard on yourself. I mean, to quiet the brain for 30 seconds is a miracle, really, for most people. I mean, you go through your whole life, you live in your brain, you never are present your whole life long. So one of the features of this frequency is that it's not as fast as you would like, but with practice, it will quiet the brain.
yes.
And as the brain quiets, you will eventually, many people discover that their existence, which is not the brain, okay, their actual, you maybe notice it more in your breath. You're not thinking, you're completely present, and you exist. And that existence is producing a sound. And the sound is subtle in the beginning, but it grows as you do this frequency. And it grows to a level where it's just like, oh my God, it just feels like it's taking over. And this is the sound of you. Planets make a sound. I mean, NASA has actually gone out with recording equipment and recorded the sound of Jupiter and the different planets. And they're different sounds. And our sounds are different too. But this is the sound of your existence. And it's just a beautiful moment when that starts to come in for you. There's no medical defect in your ears. You just are, it's the sound of your existence. And this is going to, if you can start to develop that ability, this is going to so increase your ability to add to the amperage of the energy circling the globe.
Are you ready for the meditation?
Yeah.
Are you more quiet now? Are you present? No thinking?
Mm-hmm.
Mm. This is always the hard part. Talking after meditation. But I won't say much. But wow, I mean, I don't know about those of you who come regularly to these, if you're noticing the increase in intensity. I mean, we're feeling it over here. Yeah, that was pretty strong. So, and Ellen said, yeah, felt that for sure. See? It's working. So Yeah, so let's take, these next few weeks, and really practice this meditation as the first step, and let's see if we can, increase the numbers of people that are doing this with us. I mean, you can feel with just this relatively small group how strong this can get, and so we want to amplify that, you know, thousandfold by 1111. So, and we can't do that by ourselves. And so this needs to be a collective decision that we all make to really let this project be what it can be, So, all right. With that, I wish you all such a wonderful, magnificent rest of your evening. I hope you're all safe where you're at, and, really let this energy just infuse you. And yeah, much love to you all. We both say,
Yep.
wish you well.
Yeah.
And
Bye.
and the next one is on 10:10. So today was 9:09, so the next one is on 10:10, and it'll also be at 6 p.m. It's going to be a Saturday night. So join us then. All right. Much love, everybody. Take care.
Bye.
Bye.